Got you in my sights.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Elite POV, where it's podcast time, and you know what that means. I'm one of your hosts, Phil Cataldo, but you can call me Philium, alongside the two best co-hosts that anybody can have, except the fact that they went to a show without me, and I finally know what Ant feels like, and I'm heartbroken, but I'm excited to be here. First, I'm going to introduce Jacky. What is up, Jacky? The draw.
Hey, guys. The draw's in the house. And I'm sorry, Phil. We would have taken you with us if we could have, but you went to 2 out of 3, so it's not so bad.
I know. Did you know that I was looking up how long the drive was and if there was a train that would get me there sooner? I was gonna try to somehow get tickets and go, but it just wasn't doable. But
yeah,
before we get to all your experience, because we definitely want to get to that, we got to bring in someone else. The king of talk style, Anthony DiStefano, a man who got to see his girl Jade up close thanks to Jacky. What is up, Ant?
Memorable night. Jacky got to ride in a car with me to see. And she got to hang out with Kyle and I. And if you guys know the 5-second rule pod, you know Kyle. So you can only imagine how that car ride was. But overall, one of the most fun nights I've had. I'll address it a little bit because I've never been in an atmosphere, like I was last night. Like, there was one time I was in an atmosphere, and I know Phil knows what atmosphere I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. There's nothing like an AEW show.
WWE Extreme Rules.
When I went to fucking the Bamboo, what was the match with Orton and Kali?
The Punjabi prison match.
Yeah, you can't see shit.
There was nothing like it, brother. I saw Hardcore Holly beat the shit out of some young guy.
Yeah, I remember Hardcore Holly used to beat out the William the Hands.
When men were men. When men were men.
Yeah, we didn't play PlayStation. We snort coke off strippers' assholes.
Wow, this is how we're starting tonight.
When men were men, you know?
When men were real men. We used to haze each other. We used to shit in people's duffel bags.
Video games? I could never. One time I stabbed a guy.
Yeah. I had to give him a receipt, so I cut his throat in the locker room. Oh, yeah. Cool.
he'll never mess up on that bump again.
But Fortnite's a problem. But yeah, overall, amazing show. Amazing. Circle back to the CM Punk thing. Yeah, because I got to see CM Punk for the first time in 8 years, and it was magical.
And we're gonna start off the show with that. Actually, before we start off the show, a little bit of housekeeping. So, due to the fact that AEW, sadly, because fuck the NHL, is going to be on Saturday night next week. The tentative plan right now is for us to go live on Sunday night. Now,
we're going to call it Sunday Night Heat, by the way. That's going to be the name of the episode.
Midnight Heat?
Sunday Night Heat.
Sunday Night
Heat. I like it. We're gonna go live Sunday. The time we will discuss off air, and we'll definitely post it on the Twitter to figure everything out, because it's also the season finale of Heels. So I definitely want to be able to watch that.
No, that's this weekend.
Yes, that's this weekend.
Yeah, Dynamite's on next Saturday.
Next Saturday, Phil.
Wait, so next Wednesday it's on Wednesday?
No, next Wednesday it's on Saturday.
Next week.
Dynamite already happened this week. Heels.
Oh, yeah, duh. Never mind. Forget it. Well, what I'm saying is we'll figure everything out. We'll get it out there on
Heels
Twitter.
is on this Sunday. I
know. I got it. So at Elite POV on Twitter to stay tuned for all of our news and stuff.
This wouldn't have happened if you would have just had a calendar or a roadmap.
Well, it is what it is. But now I want to get into everything because, of course, the 2 weeks that we were at the Newark show and the Queen show, Newark.
Thank you.
We got to, me and Jacky got to talk about our experience. So, Ant, this being your first show since WrestleMania 35, which is unbelievable to me, and also your first AEW show. I want to start off for you. How was the overall vibe and experience of being at Dynamite last night? Because the crowd from the TV was on fire. It seemed like an incredible show.
It was actually an awkward crowd. And because there's times where I thought, and maybe it's when I was sitting up top, I thought people would get loud, and I was getting loud and jumping up, and like people were still sitting there. And I'm like, okay, a little strange. But like down low, I was watching Jacky section just go absolutely apeshit the whole night.
Hell yeah.
So like it didn't carry through the arena, which was weird because I don't know if it's just a group that I was sitting with or you know what I mean? Like it was just a very chill section. But overall, man, the vibe's great. It's just so great to be in an atmosphere where you really feel like you're appreciated as a fan, right? Like they started off hot, right? They started off with the 8-man tag and then you get Punk coming out and then you get the Bobby Fish Sammy Guevara match, which I felt really bad because Bobby Fish is excellent. He works a very methodical style. But the problem is in the first 30 minutes of that show, you gave us the Elite, Jurassic Express, Bryan Danielson, and then you gave us CM Punk. So it just kind of suffered a little bit. Like I think a lot of people had to come down from that first high.
Well, before we even get to the Dynamite in itself, like did you get there early enough to be able to watch Elevation tapings?
We got there for dark. Yeah, we did get there.
Oh yeah, it's dark Elevate.
Yeah, we did get there for that. We were actually eating Chicky and Pete's crab fries, which are excellent. And then,
hell yeah, they were so good.
And then we I saw PMP on the TV because they had little TVs, and I don't know if they just came out. I don't even know if they had a match. Like it was literally like this, and the next thing I know, I'm like, we got to get to the seats because like cool shit's happening, and then FTR was out there. So
nice.
I'm glad
Jackie got the pop
ran.
for that.
I freaking ran. I was still on the concourse when that match. Like I heard the music and I was like, shit, gotta get to my seat.
Yeah, it was excellent atmosphere. The stadium was a lot nicer than I would figure it would be. It's a college.
What stadium? It was a college.
Liqueur Center in Temple.
Oh, okay.
We were in the hood.
I knew they weren't at the Wells Fargo thing. Oh, you were in the hood last night?
We were in the hood.
We sure were.
Yes. But overall,
I'm happy you enjoyed it.
Anytime AEW comes, like, so to me, been to 4 WrestleManias, right? And WrestleMania, the atmosphere is what's great about WrestleMania, like the grandest stage of them all, if you will. The shows never really deliver. The shows are long. Like I had more fun last night in that 3-hour span. The only show I could say that I enjoyed more than that is when we all went to All In. Mm-hmm. Because it was just, I've never been in a crowd where the fans, not my section, but the fans all around were going nuts for 2.5, 3 hours. Like just consistently going berserk.
And as somebody who didn't grow up watching ECW or even going, I was too young to go to shows in the Attitude Era. Like I really wonder if this is how it was back then, or if this is just a unique thing to the time that we're in, because even going to the Newark or the Queens show, the Queens show was different because it was Arthur Ashe, it was big, but the Newark show, like it's just a different atmosphere. Like it seems like everybody or most the people there, right? Let's not say everybody, but it seems like pretty much almost the whole stadium is there to have a good time, there to see incredible wrestling, and I feel like you get that vibe of like, hey, the person next to you is reacting and cheering and chanting.
I was there with my friend Kyle, who's casual. He's casual Kyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just got back into
like
wrestling. Just started watching AEW because Punk came back, right? He watched some pay-per-views in my house, but he literally just started watching weekly because CM Punk's back. And he looked at me last night and he said, they just look like they're having so much fun. Yep. Everybody that comes out of that curtain looks like they're just having the best time ever. Like you see Jungle Boy, you see Adam Cole. I don't know how Adam Cole is going to be a heel for any longer because that guy, like every interview you listen to, like it's to the point now my friend Kyle is listening to the interviews, right? Listening to the podcast, and he's like, Adam Cole can't be a heel because like as a person, you just love that man. Like everybody loves that man, and then he gets in the ring, and you love that man. And the moment he turns, if he ever turns, which I do think he will be the top face in the company, even over Punk and Danielson. I think Cole is your guy. Him and Hangman are probably your staples of this company now because they're both only like 30 years old.
You're saying Adam Cole is going to be the 5th pillar?
Yeah, right.
Which shout out to AEW.
Adam Cole is the roof of the fucking
awesome.
pillars, okay? Because he's going to be above everybody. Because if there's one person I'm building around, 2 years ago you asked me it's Pete Dunne. You asked me that question now, I'm building around Adam Cole. That's my whole company. That's the face of my company is Adam Cole.
All right, well, so now I want to get a different perspective because, of course, one of our own, And this warmed my heart because it's always great when you know your friends are at the shows, but it's so much better when you can see your friends at the shows. And of course, Jacky, how was it sitting in those absolutely incredible seats, dead center on camera? Let me tell you, you were in every shot. Shout out to you standing up and cheering because the world saw you. Like, you became the AEW fan that everybody was talking about that night. Just let us know, how was that experience for you?
It was the most incredible experience of my life. I have been to quite a few wrestling shows, and I've had the privilege of going to a bunch of AEW shows this year. I have never, ever sat that close to the ring, especially not on a televised program. And to be that front and center, and then have my phone blow up because everybody's tagging me on Twitter saying like, "Oh my God, we could see you on TV." It was really exciting. Really. But it's not like you play it up for the camera. You know what I mean? Just because you know the camera's there.
Yeah.
Everything that you see is extremely authentic.
But it is weird because I did thank you for the seat, by the way. I got the seat for Rampage because Jacky had to leave, so she threw me the ticket, and I got to see Punk wrestle, tearing up. You'll probably see me tearing up when you watch it. But like, it's weird because you're watching, but like out of the corner of your eye, you could see the big screen, and you see yourself on the big screen. You're like.
You kind of become somewhat aware that the camera is there. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, well, let me not do anything that I don't want anybody seeing.
I'll just say, when Sky Blue comes out, watch me and my face.
Oh God.
Can't wait.
Oh Lord. Anyway, so yeah, side note, that was a 30th birthday present to my brother, he might still be in the chat. I hope he's still in the chat. And it was his 30th birthday present that got postponed and belated over and over again. He's 31 now, and we finally get to go. Thanks, COVID. We finally get to go to the show, but I don't know. Like, I try to think that everything, happens in its own timing. And with the way that the night panned out, I couldn't have thought of a better situation for us.
Right? Last year, if you were there, Punk's not there, Cole's not there, Danielson's not there.
Exactly.
Like,
we don't have the triumphant ending of the show.
Get
like
Hangman coming back. The show. That show was
just so much.
It felt like a pay-per-view.
You don't get Ant being there because he wasn't watching that focused.
I was watching, just not like I was.
No, that's what I'm saying. That focus.
I was saying I was keeping up.
There.
Yeah.
I was keeping up. I wasn't like watching every week.
Yeah. No.
So in a nutshell, it was the greatest moment of my wrestling fan life. I'm
so happy to hear that.
Topping like that is the Chicky and Pete's fries, probably.
Yeah, those crab fries were like, that was lit.
I was so hyped. We walked into the arena. I'm like, oh my God, they got Chicky and Pete's.
Man.
And shout out to Fangy in the chat. Yes, I damn near bawled when Hangman came out. If you watch the video I posted on Twitter, you could literally see like my eyes are glassed over. It was.
So let's transition right over to that, because that's definitely a huge topic that I want to get into. And the perfect way to transition to that is your video made me cry. Because I saw your eyes watering, and it was like seeing Hangman come back, and shout out to Carrie, because we've been texting for months about this moment. And Carrie literally booked this moment to perfection. I'm really starting to think that Carrie works for AEW.
Yeah,
she's giving me insider information, because it's unreal how she gets these like months and months beforehand. But so I'm texting Carrie, and then Jacky puts the video up, and I'm already emotional for Carrie because I know how much of a big deal this is for her. But like seeing Jacky tear up broke me. And I was like, fuck, this is such a huge moment. And I was just super hyped. But so Ant, like this being your first AEW show, how was it in the building for just hearing that pop when Hangman came back?
That's the only time. But I mean, the Judas thing, I will say, was really loud. And when Dan Lambert was talking in the arena, I could not make out a word Dan Lambert was saying. Literally could not hear me. Just looked like he was talking. Like you did not.
So on TV, you can still hear him, which is good because they're mic'd up well. Because remember when we were in Newark, Jacky, MJF was the same thing. We were booing so loud you couldn't hear him.
But he
right.
So I would say that Hangman pop was the second biggest pop live that I've heard. The first being the Hardys at WrestleMania when.
Oh
they
my
came
God,
out.
I don't think anything will ever top that.
I mean, unless you were in Chicago for Punk, I don't think you're.
Oh well,
top,
yeah.
I don't think you're
Right.
topping that, but just the excitement, right? Like the countdown, you felt the energy around you. Like you felt people like getting ready, like they were ready to explode for Hangman Page to come back. And when he did, I did. I told Carrie too. I'm like, listen, like Hangman's like, I like him. He's not one of my favorites, but I'm gonna go nuts because like I'm vicariously, you're gonna be through me. So it was like it was cool. It was I would say that match, man. Everyone looked like a star in that match. I will say they did a really good job. I was very scared for Andrade because after he took that ladder bump, he was
Oh my God.
He was down for a good while, like not moving, and I'm like, oof. But obviously,
But did you pop when Orange and the Best Friends came out and they came out with the mascot for the Sixers?
Absolutely. I was waiting because Tony Khan came out and was screaming because you know how he gets so hyped and it gets you hyped.
Dude.
And I was waiting for him to bring out Embiid. The best
They
thing
tried.
They
tried.
The best thing you guys will see. Well, Embiid's in DX. Didn't you see that in the playoffs?
Oh
Embiid does to suck it. So Embiid's probably WWE probably was like, nah, man, we'll pay you not to do that.
Yeah.
So when we went to on Rampage. One of the best parts is
Rampage. We call it Rampage.
During one of the
Shout out to
matches,
Jamie.
I want to see if they edit it because there are loud. It's one of the loudest chants of the night. Fuck Ben Simmons chants went on for like 5 minutes, like really loud. Like so, I'm waiting to see if they edit that out because the Acclaim mentioned Ben Simmons, and
they'll probably keep it then.
But no, I don't think so. But that Another great talent, but that ladder match was so fun. I love that they got rid of the golden ring and they put the casino chip.
The golden ring was a different
it was the
match.
face of the revolution. But
I
just was very scared that the Honey Nut Cheerio would be hanging above the ring. So I'm glad that it was the poker chip, and I'm glad Hangman won. A part of me going there, and I think I said this, Jackie. Part of me going there, I said, I think Punk's going to be the Joker. I think they're going to shock everyone, and Punk would have been the Joker. And you would get to see him wrestle. But then when Punk cut the promo, I'm like, okay, it's not him. It had to be Hangman, right? Like, I thought if it wasn't going to be Hangman, the only way they could get away with it not being Hangman, if it was CM Punk. That's the only way or Danielson. That's the only way
Will Ospreay. I think the crowd would have popped for Ospreay.
Yeah, but it's still, I think everyone was craving Hangman so much that the only way people would be cool is if you played Cult of Personality because they wouldn't even think. They would just start singing.
Yeah.
like... But
that's a good point.
I'm glad that they did the right thing, and we're gonna get to see Hangman.
They did.
And Rob, our brother Rob's gonna get to see Hangman take the title off Kenny Omega and kick out of a one-wing angel, and it's gonna be awesome because it's been a 2-year story, and I think that's the coolest thing about AEW is they don't give up on stories. They just, it's the slow build that has all these different pillars like involved in it, and then when they move on to something. Like, it makes sense. Like, why did Bryan Danielson come in for Kenny Omega? Because he wants to show that he's the best wrestler. Doesn't mean he needs a title. And they did that match. They gave us what we wanted, but they still didn't forget that we all wanted Hangman to take that title from Kenny ever since Hangman thought he was the weak link. And Kerry even said something on Twitter where it still seems like Hangman's after the match, they're interviewing him, and he keeps dodging the question about Kenny Omega.
Did you that interview in the building?
No, I watched it today. So he keeps dodging the question about Kenny Omega, and it's almost like Hangman still doesn't believe that he's better than Kenny Omega. And I think watching his confidence boost, they asked him about his friends. There's going to be a payoff with the Dark Order. So like everything in these next like 4 or 5 weeks for this pay-per-view is going to be full steam ahead.
Well, Jackie, what was it like being that close? Ant did mention earlier that your section down low was just unbelievably hyped the whole night. So how was it, that being the end of Dynamite, of course, so that's after 3 hours of live wrestling at that point with the hour of elevation taped beforehand. So how was it from your section, the whole Hangman situation?
The energy never died. I'm I think we were surrounded by a really cool core group of people. There was a shout out to the woman behind us. She had me rolling the whole time. She was just so into it. You could tell she was kind of maybe just getting into AEW. She was still trying to find her footing, but she was loud as anything, just screaming at the top of her lungs. So I love seeing that.
There's one guy in front of you that kept like messing with the wrestlers. I don't know if you saw that.
There's always somebody that has to like try to become a part of the show.
He was recording himself, and I'm like, this dude literally just recorded the whole Dynamite, just trying to get under wrestlers' skin.
Probably, but
we're not fans of those people, but like Jackie says, there's always one or two of them.
There's always going to be somebody who's trying to get themselves over and be a part of the show.
The best is I saw QT. I saw QT Marshall, and I as you guys know, I know QT because Bill, my friend, and QT was just like, you could just tell QT was eating this guy up because every time QT said something, the crowd was cracking up. Like QT was just like shitting on that guy for 3 minutes during a commercial break.
There was like one guy like that was going toe to toe with him, like literally like right in front of me. Yeah. And I was just like, guys, come on now. I don't know why we're doing this.
I love QT.
People try to get over, man.
Yeah, trying to get over. But like I said, that moment I was so glad they didn't swerve us because I'm like, AEW has proven time and time again that they don't necessarily go the predictable route. So I'm like, everybody's thinking it's Hangman, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be the one to come out. But I was like, please do not swerve on this one. I need this moment, and I could not have asked for.
But if you look back at the history of AEW, they always give us what we want. Right? They're right. Very good at reading the room, that hearing the pulse of what fans want. Like like you said, they could have swerved Hangman not being it, but I think people wanted Hangman to come back so bad that night that if it wasn't going to be Hangman in the ladder match, they would have had Hangman come out after the Elite match. Because they would have still had Hangman show up on the show. They weren't going to do that show without Hangman being there because everybody was so focused on predicting that it was going to be Hangman. But like, how was it sitting that close to all the chaos of that match? Like Ant said, you had the crazy Andrade bump. You had the cool spot with Orange Cassidy kicking the ladder back out on Pac. Like, how is it being that close to all that mayhem? Because I've personally never sat that close to the ring. I had once at a WWE show. I think it was Great American Bash years and years ago. I sat by the entrance on the side. But I was nowhere near the ring. So how was it being that close to just ladders and just chaos and brutality, really?
It's a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. And I think I've touched on this before where I'm the mom viewer where sometimes I'm just like holding my chest like, oh my God, somebody's gonna get hurt out there. And it's just because everything is so much louder. When somebody goes through a table, you can hear that snap of the wood. And it's like the ladders crashing into people, like Moxley getting a chair thrown into him, like just everything sounds so loud and chaotic. So it really sucks you into like, oh shit, this is really dangerous actually. So you're sitting there and it's like, and not only that, but there's so many guys, like there was like 6 guys in the Joker, right? And I'm like, your eyes are going all over the place.
Yeah. Who do you look at?
Who am I looking at? Going back and rewatching it, I'm like, oh, I missed that. I missed that too. I missed that.
So they didn't have like a monitor up for you guys to see what was going on, like at other parts.
On the Tron, not the main screens, but off to the either side.
Nothing overhead. It was all
nothing
at the
overhead. No.
Ramp.
And it would show you more or less what the TNT crowd was seeing. Like if they had like a replay or something like that, or if they were doing a vignette, you would see it like that. But nobody's really paying attention to the ramp. You know what I mean?
Especially from my seat, because I was angled. So I'm up and I'm angled down. So I could see the ring. I could see the ramp. The TV's almost so far away from me that it looks the same size of the guys in the ring. So why would I... It was actually like a lot of times you go to these wrestling shows and you sit up high, you find yourself watching it on the screen, right?
Yes.
This center, I've never been to it, and it's in Philly, and there wasn't a bad seat in the house. And I just looked it up to answer Ed's question. It's a 10,000 seat arena. Now wrestling's a little bit different because you're not getting all of the seats. So you're probably looking around like 7,500 seat arena, and it was pretty packed. I would say there's about 6K there last night. But
somewhere in that.
You could see like everything. So it was very close like that. And the ramp, like I tried looking at this when I was on Rampage in your seats, Jackie. I tried looking at the TV and it was like kind of awkward because
Yeah, that's
you
what I'm
could
saying.
see
Like, I would never
yourself-
look up there.
Yeah, you're gonna like, and I was guilty of it. So if you see me on Rampage where she was sitting, I'm sitting there like looking at the TV because I'm seeing myself out of the corner of my eye on the TV too. So it was really it's awkward, but I can't imagine what you saw sitting there just like during that match, because that match was like, first off, Andrade's powerbomb off the ladder to start, like literally they started hot.
They
started
did.
real hot.
Mm-hmm. That was, and the cool thing is that, I'm laughing, texting Rob and stuff like, yo, is there anybody who fucking loses bigger matches or like more big matches than Lance Archer? But even then, like, they give him his moments, right? We could all agree Andrade hasn't had the best booking since being in here, and we think that that's not necessarily all his fault, right?
Rick.
Some bad timing on stuff, but but like even they gave Andrade his moments, right? They gave everybody their moments, and it was just an awesome match. Now, the one thing I do want to ask you guys, because of course it came off extremely awkward on TV, and even texted us about it. That spot with Moxley at the end, how did it look from your vantage point, Jackie? Because it looked extremely awkward on TV.
You mean the ending of it?
Yeah, when he fell, like we
Okay.
were like, wait, what just happened?
I actually took footage like from my seat of that particular moment. And I will say I was a little confused where I was like, did he just fall out of like, and I'm like, okay, but he wasn't pushed. He didn't like, do a misstep. I'm like, are we supposed to be under the, guise that he fell out of fatigue? Like, what was that? Now, only a few short moments later, Hangman goes and grabs a chip and everybody's freaking forgetting about it. And it's like, nobody cares. But yeah, in that moment, I was like, wait, what the hell just happened?
I saw it on TV. I watched it back to see if it was from my seat. It looked terrible, and I'll tell you why it looked terrible from my seat is because, hey, thank you for the sub, 4-star by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out 4-star for the sub.
We from my seat, like I can't see his right leg. I'm guessing, but from your vantage point and on TV, as he's hitting Hangman, his right leg's kind of like Mox is like moving, right? He's swaying. And it looks like the last punch, Mox is like, whoa, like he's trying to find his equilibrium, and then he falls. And that's kind of how the ending was supposed to be. But it came off as like he might have waited too long because it just was like, how did he fall? Like,
yeah, it was just weird.
Yeah.
But here's the weird thing, and it happens, and for some reason it bothers me. And it's not just an AEW thing. Every ladder match, it's like, I'm going to push you off, and then I'm going to win. I'm going to do... Meanwhile, you just had 15 spots of people going through the table. Why do you need to have the ending of someone, oh, I'm collapsing because I'm tired, or oh, you pushed me off? Like, how about Hangman throws him through a table and then climbs up a ladder and takes the thing? Like,
yeah. Instead of having the moment of like them struggling on top,
because
like
at that point, you know, Hangman's getting it.
Yeah,
right. You know it. And that's my nitpick in ladder matches. It always comes down to like meanwhile, Hangman hit his finisher, one of his finishers or whatever, off the ladder through a table. That should be enough for him to set up a ladder, climb up, and get the chip and be done.
Yep. And shout out to Carrie texting us and putting it on Twitter. That was a great callback to the match that Hangman had with Joey Janela at All In, because he did that spot.
Can I
just
tell
beautiful.
Can I tell you, Janela is
start.
getting in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
Joey,
and I saw from the tapings, an ECW legend came out during the Janela segment.
Yeah, it did.
Yes, we won't spoil anything.
It here, but make sure you guys.
I think he
out.
spoiled it. I think the legend put it up.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty
well,
sure.
just in case you didn't see it, we won't spoil it.
The best is when Kyle and I were leaving, we walked past him in the parking garage.
Really?
Yeah. I'm again. Let's call him Brian, because that's his name. Brian worked for the Monster Factory, so I know him a little bit too. He was one of the coaches there when Bill and QT and Damian Priest and Riddle were there. So I've had multiple conversations with him. He's a really nice guy, but it's just awkward because Kyle hasn't been to a wrestling show in 17 years. He went to like a WWE house show. And he was like, "Holy shit, look!" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." It's just like,
yeah, he's always around.
Say what's up and keep moving. Like, you know what I
So
mean?
Fangy in the chat said it was funny seeing the refs holding the ladder. Actually, in a lot of ladder matches, the refs are holding ladders for people if you kind of pay attention.
Divine, don't come on. There's one thing that I don't take here, and I love you, but it's I love John Moxley more. I'm a Shield stan, if you will. Moxley should be their Stone Cold,
and technically he is, and we're not saying he is Stone Cold, but you have to remember, Divine, Moxley was their champion during the COVID era, and he was the reason why the ratings were what they were. He's the reason why they were able to beat NXT so many weeks. Like John Moxley, and this is Tony Khan's own words, is one of the most important wrestlers in that company.
When he came over,
I agree.
When he came over to AEW, and this one, I think we were.
It was a paradigm shift, brother.
We were finishing RWA, and I said that signing is going to be as important as Hall and Nash were to WCW, and it's because once you see a top guy, he had it made, right? And listen, Divine, I get it. Like it doesn't have to be everyone's cup of tea. There's plenty of top superstars like Orange Cassidy that I'm like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? But if people love it, I'm into it. Like, have fun. But when that guy came over, right, Moxley, who got handed everything, right? He was the Shield is the most dominant faction. He was a Grand Slam champion. Yep. WWE champion. He did it all. He did everything you could do in that company, right? And he left. Without him doing that, do you think the company gets where they can now that Bryan Danielson can go, hey, this company can give me everything I want, but I want to go over here. John Moxley laid the groundwork for all of that. So as you might not like him as a character, you have to respect what he brings, and they're never going to put him in the mid-card because John Moxley's a main eventer.
And they're always going to book him to look strong.
They're always going to book him to look strong because John Moxley, before Dean Ambrose in CCW, was always booked strong. He was.
So what we're basically saying is, instead of nitpicking, just sing Wild Thing, bro, and have a good time.
Yeah, just sing Wild Thing. And I'm so mad, like, we didn't really get to sing much of that because he literally ran out and just started fighting Archer. And I didn't get to see Eddie Kingston, which was very upsetting.
Yeah. I mean, Eddie Kingston's probably still on a career high for the last couple of weeks that they've had in New York. So,
Divine,
it was definitely
here's
cool.
the thing: I don't think he's, and I like this conversation because I see where you're coming from. I don't think they make him unbeatable. I just think he hasn't faced anyone who we could believe could actually beat him. If that makes sense. Like, I don't think
he was a world champion. I mean, how unbeatable is like Chris Jericho? How many times has Chris Jericho lost, And Chris Jericho's way older than him and Kenny Omega. We have to remember, so I am very guilty of this as well, right? We've had 20 years of WWE style booking. They do not do that here. If you are a top guy in the company, they protect you. MJF has lost twice in the entirety of this company. In almost 3 years, MJF has lost 2 times. And one of those times, it was due to a legal move. So technically, he's only really lost once. Well, 3 times. It was in a tag match.
Omega beat Moxley. So Moxley is beatable by people who should be beating him. That's what I love about this company. Is they're not just going to be like, hey, guess what, man? You need a win. I'm going to 50-50 book this. All right, you're going to name a mid-carder here. Kip Sabian. I'm sorry, Kip. We love you, Kip. Kip Sabian. Okay, you need a big win. We're going to let you pin Moxley, and then he can pin you, and he'll get it back. No, like,
we don't do that.
Wins and losses matter, right? So, like, if someone like Cody beats Moxley, it means something, right? If someone like Darby Allin beats Moxley, it's like, okay, Darby Allin's now at the top of your card because he just beat someone that's on the top of your card. Like, that's why I like it. I mean, like you said, MJF's lost twice, not even clean, twice in 2 years. Technically, MJF has been pretty much undefeated without
unbeatable.
Without the stipulation.
He's only because he's lost 3 times. One was in a tag match when he didn't get pinned. One was to Moxley when Moxley used the illegal finisher. And then one was to Jericho, which was like a restarted match, and it was weird. Like, MJF is the most protected guy in the company for going along that route. But before we get down all of that stuff, I definitely want to get to something that is a big deal to me. And I want to get your guys' take on it because, of course, you guys were there live, so you got to feel that excitement. So there's been rumors for weeks that AEW was going to be, well, for months really, that they were going to be introducing a new title to the company. We've heard reports of it being the trios title. There were reports that maybe it would be a women's tag title. And I think what actually ended up happening is a lot better than both of those, especially right now. And it's very unique because no other company in wrestling that I could think of that's not an all-women's company like a Shimmer or a Rise or something like that have a secondary women's singles championship. And of course, I'm talking about they debuted the TBS championship, and may I say, what a absolutely beautiful title. I don't know what it is, but that black leather with the accents of blue always looks so goddamn good.
That's my nitpick.
You don't like it?
Oh,
Yeah, I don't like the blue. I think you could have because like to me like
I
don't
like
know,
it.
I've seen enough red and blue between the other company to like drive me absolutely fucking berserk.
Yeah, but isn't TBS's color blue?
I guess, but like you could have did purple. You could have did like something that really pops it and makes it look different. Like
I think you're out of your mind.
I
think
colors.
you're
Yeah.
still tired from that. I know you work with colors and you, but like that title.
It's it's a gorgeous title, and I love that it is identical to the TNT title because it's a uniform. It's a network title. My problem is it might be a little bit too big for the women in the company. Some of them are small.
But it is what it is, right? And people complain that
I-
the AEW women's title was too small, even though I think it's a perfect size, the one that Britt has. And the TBS title, I think also you got to remember Aubrey is holding it, so it could seem a lot bigger than it actually is, right? So we definitely have to see it like on someone like Jade or Nyla to see like how big it actually is. But I definitely want to start with Jackie because of course she recorded a video hilariously while they were in commercial coming back of like, oh, there's a bag. People know it's a title. So how was the vibe in your section when people started to see that Aubrey was holding a bag?
Oh, my brother was the first one. Like I don't even think I even noticed what she was holding in her hand. He's like, that's a belt. That's a belt in the bag. Like, you know, like, and I'm like, oh shit. Like they're going to go with that's going to be the announcement is the rumored title. And you could hear everybody just kind of like buzzing in the seats around, like, oh, what she got there. Like, everybody was kind of, waiting and to come back from commercial. If you go back and watch the TNT feed, you see me in the background when they pull that title out, losing my freaking mind. Because this is all I could have ever asked for with this company. When there were rumors of the trios titles being a possibility, and they might still pop up down the line, I was slightly agitated because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, we don't need another men's title. We have enough men's titles at this point. Give us a secondary women's title. And I didn't feel that the division was strong enough for women's tag team titles. But seeing the belt, and I'm so glad that it wasn't pink. And it wasn't purple. It wasn't like this ultra.
Purple's
this
awesome.
Ultra. I love purple,
Purple's
but
good.
I'm just saying, like, I didn't want them to go with an ultra feminine, like or rather perceived feminine color, because that would have been cheesy as hell. I'm like, I just wanted to look like the caliber of the other belts, and the fact that it directly mimics the TNT title makes it feel like an equal. So I really appreciated that.
It was kind of spoiled for me, because. Shout out to Andrew Zarian, too. Great guy. Nice guy from Matt Man Podcast. He reported that this was in the works, that a TBS title was in the works. And I kept my mouth shut because my whole section's like, oh, it's going to be the Trios Championship. I'm like, now I know what it is. But I was shocked when they actually announced it, and they showed the belt was the same. Oh, God. Hey, yeah, we're Tessa Blanchard people.
Especially me.
Yeah, like when they showed the belt, I was like, this is awesome. And I see a lot of people saying Jade, and Jade's my favorite.
So let's before you get into that, and I'm gonna go to you first. Now let's fantasy book this. So Ant, I'll start with you.
Well, it's not gonna be Jade because Jade's the number one contender for Britt Baker's belt, right? Did she win the triple threat match to become?
Oh yeah, you're right. But
Ant,
who do you think should be the TBS champion?
Take Conti.
Okay.
It's either her or Thunder Rosa. That's my only two choices.
I have a different pick, but Jackie, I want to see. I want to hear who yours is.
Thunder Rosa was my number one pick for that title.
That's good. So hear me out. So with the TNT title, and the pandemic might have changed how everything was, right? Maybe fast tracking things, but AEW has shown that when it comes to championships, especially recently, they like to give it to people who immediately give like a sense of skill, or like, I can't think of the word, but just a sense of greatness. Yeah, there you go. A sense of prestige, right? There's only 3 women in the company besides Britt Baker who automatically give that belt prestige. That is Serena Deeb, that is Thunder Rosa, that is Ruby Soho.
Ruby Soho is a good pick.
I personally think it should be Ruby Soho. With the story she told going into the Britt Baker match of like, I haven't been a champion in like 8 years, and how Tony Khan in every interview has said how important it is that Ruby Soho is in this company.
But you need these people, and this is me playing devil's advocate, but you need these people as a foil to Britt Baker's championship.
No, but Ruby had her shot.
Right now,
we're going to take Ruby away from her.
Right now, Tay Conti isn't on that level.
Well, they're going to build.
You build
the
it with
same
the
way.
TBS title.
Yeah.
Like, to me, and I get what you're saying, put on someone with prestige, but you do need these top stars like Ruby, or I would say, I don't even know who's after that, right? Who
Sheeta. We see 4-star in the chat saying Sheeta, absolutely.
But that's the thing is, who's going to be the foil to Britt Baker? Because right now they really don't have one. But Ruby was the only one I believed at the time. Her and Thunder Rosa were the only ones I believed at the time that could take a belt off Britt.
But why can't they jumpstart the Thunder Rosa Britt thing again? And I think that we have to understand that
you can't reach into the bag too much, because then if Britt goes over on Thunder, then who? Like, you need to, like, that's why I think the TBS title should be like Sammy Guevara. If I told you Sammy Guevara, would win a title from Kenny Omega, you would say no, right? He's not ready for that. He's not ready for that stage. Mm-hmm. That's why the TNT title's there. It's to get you ready for that stage. So I believe that's what the TBS
But remember who Sammy won it from. He won it from Miro after like 2 years of that title existing. That's the thing. This is a brand new championship. They need to give it to somebody who can anchor the division while you build the young girls.
Brandy
Thunder
Rose.
Rosa.
Huh?
Brandy Rose. Yeah. I know. I saw people tweeting that. It made me laugh. But so it's just like, listen, obviously, I mean, come on. I'm the Ty Conti guy. Of course, I want my girl to win. I think that you tell a story in a year she wins, right? Or in 6 months she wins. 8 months she wins.
Really, really strong.
And they have been. And she's been top 3, top 4 for like a year now, right? I think AEW tweeted at one point. She's shout out Kyle for the sub.
Hey,
remember guys, we are affiliate now on Twitch. So if you guys have a Twitch, if you're watching this on a VOD later on YouTube, or if you're listening on podcast platforms, you can go over to Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, you can sub for free, and we would definitely really, really appreciate that.
It goes a long way. Next week we'll have some emotes, we'll have some alerts.
Yep, it is all a work in progress.
There won't be any. Thank you, Kyle, for another sub. We won't be having alert sounds, obviously, for obvious reasons, because this does go straight to Spotify. But thank you, Kyle, and go check out All Elite Podcast, Kyle's podcast. Great show.
Yep, great show.
Favorite Canadian.
Yeah, definitely our favorite Canadian. But so like my thing is like, of course I would want Ty Conti to win, but in time. Remember, this is a different company. They take their time with things. They make things mean something. And that's why, and to double back to what I was going to say in the beginning of this, everyone keeps saying Jade.
Whoa,
and
Triangle Man.
Triangle.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa, Triangle Man. Shout out to you.
Triangle. Wow, thank you.
Thank you.
Gifted. Thank
you.
you.
I think you're going to have to dress up like Elsa, Phil.
Oh, yeah, we have a contest going on right now. If we can get to 15 subs, I have to dress up like Elsa. If we can get to 20 subs, Ant's dressing up like Olaf. And I don't know if Jackie wants to dress up, then she can do what she wants to do. Anna, it would be very easy for you. You already got the red hair.
Right?
Yeah, but is that the easy route, though? Do I have to do something like borderline humiliating and go with a...
All right, so 30 subs, she's dressing up as Sven.
Yeah, that's a good one. But let me finish the Jade point. So listen, I get everyone's hype about Jade, right? But remember, in my opinion, Jade is Charlotte Flair right now.
Yep.
Is Charlotte Flair in
agree.
NXT?
Totally
right?
agree.
We need to take our time, and in my opinion, Similar to how MJF is not the TNT champion because MJF, sad to say, because I know AEW says that the TNT title is not a mid-card belt, but it is. All right, let's be honest.
Thank you, Issa.
MJF, thank you, Issa, for the sub. MJF is bigger than that. Jade is bigger than the TBS title. Jade, the first title she wins, should be the women's championship. It should be that belt. And if it's in 6 months, if it's in a year, if it's in whatever, 2 years, it's fine. Jade is going to look extremely strong, and that's fine. Maybe she goes into a feud with Thunder Rosa to see if she's really ready for it. Maybe she's a lot further along than not. But remember, Jade's only been wrestling for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And when they give that belt
great.
to her, it's going to be when she's ready. Same thing with Britt Baker, right?
She needs work.
Yep, I wanted Britt Baker to win that title to be the first one, and they took her time. They built her character, so when she finally won, she was an established star, and now you can send her out to Pirates games or whatever in Pittsburgh, and she's a mega star. And the same thing will happen with Jade. We just have to be patient.
Jade's not winning the TBS title when she wins her first title. She's winning the big one. That because
AEW World Heavyweight Championship.
She has stars.
Big platinum.
She has stars.
Yeah, big platinum.
Like when she came out last night, it's like the attention goes right to her. Like she has that, and I like the comparison. She has that Charlotte flair about her, where when she's in the room, you
pay attention.
You pay attention. Like, and I think, and I think you're bringing up good points, Phil. I was just as a devil's advocate, I always believe that you need these people to feed the Brit, or you need to build the person to beat Brit. So it's just, if Brit fights like Anna Jay right now, Anna Jay would be a great pick for a TBS champion, right? Because
he's still too new, man.
But again, because you can't feed her to Britt Baker because Britt would win. You have to build these people up, these females up to actually become a threat. And right now, there's only like 1 or 2 threats on the roster to Britt Baker. So. That's why I think the TBS title is going to be someone new because they need to elevate their talent to get to that level.
Now, talking about the women, unless you have something else to say about that topic, Jackie.
No, I think we've covered a good portion of it. I mean, like we could speculate it to death. Honestly, we have like a whole hour show on just speculating.
Jackie was flipping out because she's winning the title, guys.
Yeah, I knew it. That's
spoiler alert.
Yeah. So to kind of go off with the women's division, let's talk about that Serena versus Shida match, and I want to give a shout out to AEW because I was texting people going, well, clearly Shida's gonna win, right? They had the plaque made and everything, and about halfway through the match, and I really want to get your guys' take there with being live. Halfway through the match, I was like, I think Serena's gonna fucking win and then hit her with that the plaque or the trophy or whatever. Like I think they're gonna do it because obviously she is gonna get her 50th win eventually. So like you making that plaque is fine. Like you'll give it to her eventually. But to give that moment to swerve the fans, like Jackie, how was it seeing that moment there of seeing Serena just kind of win the match and then beat the shit out of her?
Okay, so I may have been lurking a little bit on Twitter because I do have post alerts set for certain people, and I was seeing a lot of. Oh, well, now we know Shida's going to win just because, they already have the little trophy already made up, like way to give it away. So when the swerve happens and you kind of like had the little indicators towards the end, like, oh shit, this is going to be like a swerve and Serena Deeb is going to take this match. I lost it. I mean, it was just like, I know I say that a lot about, things that happened over this night, but it was just a night of like me losing my mind because it was just incredible to see this stuff. But if that's not the way to put an incredible amount of heat on Serena Deeb, I don't know what is. And she has to be the most impressive woman on the roster, period. The technical aspects of the work that
remember
she does,
what our boys said about her, remember?
She's the female Bret Hart.
Yep. There's no better compliment in my opinion.
She is the female Bret Hart. So for 2 humongous Bret Hart stands to come out and call you the female Bret Hart, that's the ultimate compliment. And
as I'm sitting here in my own Hart shirt for audio listeners, you can't see it. Own Hart.
Love it.
But oh my God, just so freaking good. And and Shida is amazing as well in her own right, but there's something about Serena Deeb that to me nobody does what she does. And so but we saw that beginning of that kind of heel turn happening against Riho back at Double or Nothing. But just to see that ultra aggressive side, and I'm like, and for her to take that 50th win from Shida, oh my God, I was like, yes, get that heat, get that, and then knock her out with the trophy that had everybody thinking, was the automatic win. Beautiful. I love heel work like that.
What about you, Ann? What did you think about it from where you were sitting?
I actually thought the match. All right, so once they did the announcement that she was 1 win away, I looked at Kyle and I was like, well, she ain't doing it tonight. Like, you're not announcing that. You're not having the trophy, all that.
Yeah.
I love. Oh God, Fangy, don't put that on me. Don't.
So wait, before let's address it. So Fangy in the chat is saying, do we think Natty leaves for All Elite? And here's what I like: Natty. Ant hates her, but I like her.
I'm leaving.
I don't think it ever happens because of everything WWE did for Natty when her dad died, and plus her husband TJ is like a big time producer there. I don't think she ever leaves. But all right, Ant, go back.
She had a farting gimmick. How do you come back from that?
She's a heart, bro. She is a fucking heart. It doesn't matter.
She's a shark.
No. Okay, hold up. We're not gonna do that. We're not doing this.
Listen,
Natty is an incredible.
Natty
she
is incredible. But
might not be the most exciting, but she is an incredible worker.
But they ruined her for me. They ruined her for me because she shit her
sure
pants.
they did.
She fucking shits herself. I can't. The sharpshooter. It's not happening.
Right.
Don't get me started on this.
It's been yelling about this for like 4 years.
Like you had Bret Hart and Owen Hart's niece, and you made her shit herself. What?
That's not her fault.
Why?
So,
we're not saying it's her fault.
We're not saying it's her fault, but like I can't look at her now. She squats to do the sharpshooter. I'm like, she just let one rip. Fuck you, Vince.
All right, that's enough of that. Let's reel it back.
Back to Serena.
God damn, it's like nightmares, man. I'm having PTSD from
he's like so triggered right now.
Oh God. Hey, listen, anyone who's been here for the 4 years of Rant with Ant
knows how it gets.
That's like a hot button, okay?
Yeah.
I'm lost now.
Right.
No, so Serena Deeb's unbelievable. And at first I wasn't really digging the match. Like the first 5 minutes, I was like, this is a little slow. And it turned a corner and it became super exciting. And it was going back and forth. And I know Shida's great. Shida, held the belt during the COVID era, and she's a great wrestler.
Yes, she is.
Serena Deeb's the star in that ring, though. And the whole time, I'm thinking Shida's the star. And then at the end of the match, I go, yeah, I can see Serena Deeb being like a champion. Like she's that good. She is so smooth. Perfect blend of technical and just manipulative, and it just was great to watch. Like when they got going and they turned that corner to almost build up the climax to then send it home, I was like, okay, I remember Serena Deeb, but I don't remember this. I don't remember her being that good.
AEW lets her be the technical wizard that she is.
Unbelievable. Some
right,
of the
and it's cool. It's a breath of fresh air.
transitions.
If you think of women's wrestling and just all of women's wrestling, how many women are allowed to be that technical? And honestly, all I could think of is Serena and Deanna.
Oh
yeah,
God.
Nobody in AEW is bottom line to me. Nobody in AEW is doing what Serena Deeb is doing.
100%. She is the top women's wrestler in that company.
If AEW signs Deanna Purrazzo, I'm streaking live on Twitch.
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it and get banned. We just got affiliate. Let's get banned already.
I love Deanna. Even though she calls it Taylor Ham, Deanna Purrazzo is A+.
Because it is Taylor Ham.
Yeah. If you guys were wondering during the Twitch leaks if our we get paid out monthly got leaked, it did. We had $1. we were numbered 5,072,000.
My Twitch leaks were all the ones of me when I forgot to stop streaming, and I would take my shirt off after the stream, and I'd be like, "Oops."
Yeah,
that they all leaked out.
And
Only
Ants.com because 2K19 wasn't working.
Oh, dude, I fucking lost it the other night with the dropped frames. That was fucking fantastic.
Hold up, wait. Kyle's in the chat. Are you saying laughing my ass off, streaking for 1 hour? Is that where we're going?
Or are you laughing your ass off for an hour? Is what we're trying to say, Kyle.
No, I'm streaking for an hour. If Deanna Purrazzo,
you're streaking for an hour.
I'll run to Newark, New Jersey.
I'll run to Newark, New Jersey, and call it Newark.
Yeah,
New
we'll
Jersey.
meet there. We'll meet in the middle of Newark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
okay,
Oh no, I
nice.
thought I was off the stream and I
We
was
got it.
really
All
fucked
right,
up
cool.
and I was eating chips and I took my shirt off because it was super hot in my studio and I'm just like, and I was
Good
like,
times,
everyone's
bro.
like, where?
Live entertainment.
Everyone's
So
like,
great.
where did the video go? Where's the VOD? I was like, yeah, I deleted it so I don't get banned for showing my fucking man boobs online.
This is why we have Ant on the show, because you never know. It's going to be real unpredictable.
He's the wild card. The wild
I can't
card
even say what I was
Center.
saying in the car.
Oh man.
No, don't.
Yeah,
So much
that's
fun.
That what
Live
happens in
Ant
the
is-
car stays in the
Listen,
car.
you
Yeah.
can't make me drive through a college campus. It's not fair. It's not fair.
No.
It's
Next
not.
topic.
It's not fair.
Next topic.
So as we start to wind the show down, so I know Jackie had to leave early, but Ant, as a preview to the people listening and the people live in chat right now, tell everybody what to expect from this week's episode of Dynamite.
Garcia, that kid's good. That kid's really fucking good. Really good. Punk looked great.
How was it was like an outer body experience for you? Because remember, that's the guy who you always tell the story, got you back into pro wrestling.
So much going through my head, like I couldn't even like react. It was weird. Like you'll see me because I'm there, like I'm right there when he's wrestling, and you see me like where I'm like, sometimes I'm like yeah, and other times I'm just like I just couldn't. It was an out of body
Process
experience.
it.
Like I'm like
Yeah.
I was like living in the moment, like. I was taking pictures and like I was like fuck pictures, but I want pictures, but I don't want like I wanted to be in that moment. But that's
Right.
great. The tag team match, dude. Max Caster's rap, fucking great. One of the better ones.
I haven't seen it yet. No one's posted
Yeah.
a video of it, so I'm excited to see it.
Definitely one of the better ones. I left for the Brian Cage fight. Sorry, don't complain about your spot. And because I didn't want to lose my spot in traffic, so I got the fuck out of there. But besides that, then the Jade match and Sky Blue. Oof. Sheesh.
Well, it definitely seems like it's another great episode of Rampage.
It's great.
And,
It's great.
Yes.
so Fangi in the chat brings up something that I definitely want to touch on real quick before we get out of here. So Malachi Black versus Dante Martin seems to be the direction they're going in.
Love it.
Jackie, how do you feel this is going to be?
Triangle man, so true. You know you're
Oh
on
my
when you
God, I'm
prioritize
sorry.
traffic. You're damn right, bro.
So, I have gone on the record for saying that Dante Martin is an absolute freaking star at his young age. But Malachi Black is on fire right now. And I'm just interested to see how these two are going to work in a match because it's two completely different styles. And you have somebody like Malachi Black he's got the experience factor, and then you have Dante who's just finding his footing. So fingers crossed that the chemistry plays off the right way, but I think if it connects, it's going to be freaking fire.
Yeah. I'm going to go.
And shout out to Malachi for working with a young talent like a Dante Martin.
Malachi
Remember,
said he wanted to, though. Every interview.
He did. And it's cool that him and Punk are working with these younger guys, right? Punk worked with Hobbs. Now he's working with Daniel Garcia. He worked with Darby, of course. And now Malachi went from Cody Rhodes to Dante Martin. And you know, Dante Martin, man, is literally one of the best high flyers in the entire world. Ray Phoenix is still like
Ray
untouchable
Phoenix
in my
is
opinion.
Ray Phoenix is in a league of all.
Ray
Yeah.
Phoenix
But-
is the second coming of Rey Mysterio Jr. Like
Ray-
he does
Ray
shit.
Phoenix is better
Yeah, well,
than Rey
yes,
Mysterio.
because it's progressed.
Yeah,
Watch
yeah,
Rey
yeah.
Mysterio in 1996 when no one could do a fucking moonsault doing what he was doing, and you're like, oh my
You're right. You're
God,
right.
you
You're
know what
right.
I mean?
You're right.
So I agree with you, Jackie, but I tend to think that there's not going to be a problem with chemistry. And I'll explain why. Because I think Cody Rhodes is more of a character, right? We've discussed that. Cody's matches are very storytelling, dramatics. Let me roll to the ring and spit water in your face. That's an inside joke. But
a great inside joke.
if you spit water in my face, bro, I'm legit gonna break you in half. And then I'll tell you the story after, Jackie.
Yeah, I was about to say do this offline.
So, you know, I think Malachi's best match was with Lee Johnson because they could keep the pace. Like
That's a good point.
He fought Cody.
Yeah.
Cody's more theatric. He fought Dustin. Dustin's like 56. He fought Lee Johnson. He looked great.
Mhm.
Dante Martin and him. Dante's 10 times better than Lee Johnson, in my opinion. Dante Martin's going to be a star, and there's no better way to show your star, even in a losing effort, because what he's going to do, I believe, is Dante Martin is going to be more than high flying here. He's going to show that he has heart. He's going to show that he has the will to win, and he won't give up. He's going to lose. So you're going to lose to Malachi Black, but you're going to look fucking phenomenal because you're going to keep fighting, and you're going to take the fight to Black like we haven't seen yet. And I think that's where you make that star while keeping a star like Malachi Black very protected.
And if any of you who are listening to this or watching this live right now, Divine brings up a good point. Malachi Black is on the episode of AEW Unrestricted this week. It's an incredible interview. He gives a lot of insight into just the whole set of events that got him here to AEW. He gives a lot of backstory on his character, what the makeup on his face means, and all that stuff. So if you are a big Malachi Black fan like I am,
I definitely have to check that out.
You have to listen to that episode. It's an incredible episode.
Another
Black
guy who's just so likable.
He's just incredibly intelligent.
So likable.
And everything that he does in that ring, from the entrance to the character to the way he looks to everything, is all thought out and planned out. And, that's what we love about AEW. They allow their talent to be hyper creative, and they give them the opportunity to do what they want to do. And they'll adjust if they have to. But, so definitely make sure you check it out.
I do want to point out one thing, guys. Last year was Brody Lee's last match, and I think probably one of his top 5 matches of all time.
Yep, the dog collar match.
Brody Lee's dog collar match. I put up there with his Ziggler ladder match when he was Luke Harper.
Ooh, what a great match that was.
Please, to honor Brody, go check that match out if you haven't, because I think it is a nice callback to old school wrestling. And it's the last match we ever got to see Brody, and it was a masterpiece. So go check that out.
It was tremendous.
All right, well, as we get to the end of the show, anything that you guys want to plug before we get out of here? And why don't we start with you?
Yeah, you guys can. You want an exclusive at the end of the show? Go ahead, Kyle. You guys can follow me at Ant is Elite, Ant_is_elite on Twitter. Check out GOW this weekend. We have Halloween Horror. It's an E-Federation. Saturday night is a pay-per-view. Hopefully I don't drop frames or I'll fucking shoot myself. But it's going to be a really good time. We have a lot of fun. Come hang out and chat. If you hang out and chat enough, I'll make you a character. And then you can build them up and fantasy book yourself into shit.
And as somebody who admittedly wasn't all in on it to begin with, once you give yourself up to it and you're in there and you get a character, it is just so much fun. Ant has created this amazing atmosphere in the chat. Everybody has a character, or you're rooting for certain characters, and then you get to see characters. Yeah, you get to see characters turn heel and join groups. Shout out to Bulletproof Forever, and it's just a great time. It is so much fun. Make sure you get in there. Twitch.tv/Game of Wrestling.
And make someone smile today. Make someone smile tomorrow. If you guys are, you never know what people are going through, so be nice to people, be kind, and try to be the best person. I love this community that we're building, this little community. Stay tuned to Twitter. We'll be announcing something soon about a little wrestling community. So make sure you check that out. But just be kind and live in the moment. Last night I got to finally hang out with Jackie at a wrestling show that wasn't an indie show, and it was awesome. We had so much fun just laughing and just living those moments, because those moments get taken away from you really quick. For a year and a half we were trapped in a house, and we had no outside connections, we had no fans, we had no CM Punk chants, we had nothing. So just really live in the moment and love what you do and love the people that you're with. That's all I'm going to say.
And shout out to Mama POV in the chat.
And Mama POV. Love Mama POV too. We love her.
We can't say it enough. All right, Jackie, let them know where they can follow you and what you got going on.
All right, cool. So before I plug all my socials and all that fun stuff, I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat that manifested an FTR appearance for the Philly show last night, because your girl got to sit ringside, front and center for her boys FTR.
Our boys, okay.
Well, no. Last night they were my guys.
Our boys, right.
They had the thighs all lubed up too.
Oh my god!
The thighs were dripping. The thighs were dripping swagoo.
Yes, as Kyle says in the chant, Pinnacle forever. Wardlow was out there too. Oh, anyway, I'm gonna shut up on that. But
Kyle, I don't want to forget him because he said Malachi Black will cut a promo soon and try to lure Cody to the dark side.
I don't think so.
Cody's not doing anything. They're giving people. If anyone saw the video of Cody with the little boy that he gave a merch shirt to, Cody's never turning heel, and it's
shout out to CM Punk for giving those fucking retros to that kid in the front row. Can we talk about that for a second? Holy shit! All right, back, Jackie.
Yeah, yes. All right.
$1,000.
Also, to add on to Ant's point about living in the moment and everything, I have to say that probably one of the most awesome moments of the night was, thank God I located Ant, because I was trying to text him. I called him twice, trying to get him on the line to say, like, hey, we have to leave for Rampage. Please take my tickets. I want you to sit ringside for this. To the very second, I handed him the tickets and CM Punk's Cult of Personality hit. Yeah. And just knowing that I was like, this was a moment that meant so much to him. And knowing that, like, you know, I was able to do that, like, that little thing to me, you know, for him to have that moment.
I even called you on the way home to thank you because my voice was probably gone. But can you could not compose myself. Could not compose myself.
No, but you know, it's stuff like that. But you know, the community that we build and the things that we're able to do to lift each other up. I think that's so important. So yes, keep it positive, keep it uplifted. There's enough negativity in the world. Let's keep wrestling a nice little space. So on that note, if you want to follow my little positivity train
right here,
you can follow me on Twitter at LoveYouMake24, and you can follow me on Instagram at Jax the Draw POV.
The draw.
So last night Jackie, I do want to thank you on air, like from the bottom of my heart, for letting me have that moment, because it's one I'll never forget. I'm getting the Punk picture. Rob's editing it. I'm going to get it autographed. I'm hanging it up in my new house. Like, that's going to be a moment that's with me forever, because without CM Punk, honestly, none of this stuff, none of the rant with Ants, nothing with me in pro wrestling would ever exist. So letting me have that moment was so special, and there's no way I can pay you back. But it just shows what a great community we have, and it leads to me thinking that we need to do something in Chicago next year with a whole community. And if maybe Labor Day weekend sounds like a good weekend to do it. So maybe we do that on a Labor Day weekend. I don't know if anything happens in Chicago Labor Day weekend, but I think, I think we're going to do something.
Yeah, something. Shout out to Ed in the chat. You guys make our nights very special as well. It's not just us being here for you guys. It's, of course, you guys being here for us. So thank you. Thank you very much. If you guys want to follow the show, it's at Elite POV on Twitter. If you are not watching live, why are you not? Come into Twitch chat, twitch.tv/Elite POV, where you can now drop subs. Thank you for everybody who donated subs tonight, especially Triangle with the 5 gifted. Woo! Thank you so very, very, very much. We have a Patreon coming. We have YouTube stuff coming. We have a lot of stuff coming. We are focused on giving you guys the best product. I don't know what's going on Ant's side, but we are focused on giving you guys the absolute best show. And stay tuned to Twitter for the time of the podcast that we have coming next week, because AEW Dynamite is going to be on Saturday. Fuck the NHL. If you want to follow me, it's at Phillium Elite everywhere. Thank you guys for listening.
Is Miro on? We should raid Miro.
Raid Miro.
Stop it.
Yo,
thank you guys for watching. And what better week than this to say this? You don't need a hat to be a cowboy.
Cowboy.
We'll see you guys later. Bye.